Alright you guys, it's time for the first oil change. I only have 256 miles on here, but I'm going to do the first oil change. I know it's supposed to be like at 300, but I'm going to do the first oil change and we'll see how it goes. Doing the oil change, and I got some parts to install. Okay, so the parts that I wanted to install were Chimera clutch plate. It's the spring plate. It's the spring cover plate. It's the spring plate. How do you say this? If you can see that or not. Okay. It's the first ever Chimera. What is this? Clutch spring plate. If you guys upgrade your clutch springs, you're gonna need to get a new clutch spring plate. Okay, a stronger one. The stock ones, usually when you put bigger, stiffer springs in, when you tighten them down, they usually crack. You could get them to work, to be honest, the stock ones, but the billet ones are always stronger. Okay, they're going to be stronger, easier to use, and all you have to do is take out that bearing, and then put the bearing back in, and then put the plate back. So we're going to install that with the SMR 60%. Okay, springs. Okay, or 80%. Okay, 80%. I like the stiff ones. Okay, so the thing is, I used to run these Thailand springs. They're super strong. I forget what they were called. They were the blue and the red ones. I don't know if you guys know them. Steady used to sell them, but they don't have them anymore. But I like them super stiff. I'm a big guy. 22 model has its own oil filter, and when we open this up, I don't think there's going to be a spinner in here anymore. So you guys remember those Katako side covers where they delete the spinner and put a filter in there, an oil filter? Guess what? They're come stock now. So shoot, man, Katako lost a lot of business, huh? But anyway, so we're gonna open her up. Probably no spinner. To be honest, I already saw it open from the straight up. Already made a pump for it. They couldn't get enough OEM parts, but straight up pumps. So when we do the oil change, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but so this takes the regular oil, the regular conventional oil. All the Groms do, and I like to go synthetic. To be honest, the semi-synthetic. I used to go the fully synthetic, the Motul 300V, but you know what? That it's the best oil you can get, right? But the thing is you're only supposed to use it for like a race or something. It burns off. What happens is it burns off the oil in your engine, so there's less oil in there, and then you blow heads and stuff like that. I blew one of my heads with a 300V at GG Spot. It was just a long wheelie. I think there was no oil in there, or there was less oil, and then just because I didn't know that it was burning off. So synthetic burns off. Be careful. Try to use a semi-synthetic. So when you go from the regular conventional motor oil, you're supposed to go to a semi-synthetic and then go to fully synthetic if you wanted to do this fully synthetic. I got the Motul 5100, and I was thinking this is semi-synthetic. I think it's semi-synthetic, but it has like these numbers here, you know what I'm saying? These bars, and it's almost all the way up to like 75%, and I was thinking semi-synthetic might be 50, but I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. So what happens is if you go from conventional, so it's because of your clutch plates that you have to go gradually from semi-synthetic to fully synthetic if you're going to go fully synthetic. The reason why is because I guess it's the oil in the clutch plates. It won't grab and stuff like that. Well, it just doesn't, I don't know, something about the oil in the clutch plates. You guys can figure it out. It just doesn't grab or something like that if you just go right away to fully synthetic, I guess. So you have to go semi-synthetic and then fully synthetic. So before you change the oil, you got to run the engine for a little bit. Alright, so now that the engine is a little warm, okay, we're going to drain the oil. I do is I take off the side, the rear set, just so it's easy to take off the bolt of the 8mm. Alright, I'm just going to leave it like that. Okay, so first we're going to loosen all these, and then we're going to pull them out. So now before there was 4 on the bottom, 1 on each side, and then 4 on top. Actually, it's the same thing now. 4 on the bottom, 1 on the sides, and then 4 on top, 2. Detach the cable from the throttle, from the clutch, the clutch cable. Okay. And this, oh, it's gonna come out. Okay, so make sure we have that. And you know what? If you guys have like a towel, or what's even better is some saran wrap or something like that. Okay, it's gonna leak on here. Okay, when you take this off, let's see. Not bad, just a little bit. And you know, I should have done this before, but I should have got ready to leave this upside down. So I'm gonna turn it back upside like this for a second. I'm gonna grab this towel. I'm just gonna leave it like that. First look inside of the new Grom. So basically there was, before, if you remember, there was a spinner here, a big round piece. A big round piece here, and that was the spinner, because shoot, okay, so I just remember, I was like, oh, where's the oil filter? But you know what, the oil filter is probably in here. Oh, it's right in there. That's right. Maybe, you know what, I should take that out first. I messed up, man. Now it's leaking all over there. See, shoot, I'm gonna take that out real quick. Let me see. Okay, we gotta change the oil filter, right? You know what? That's the one thing that I didn't have. I don't have an oil filter. You know what? And you know what? It's not bad because I could just change it like this. So there's that. Okay, the cover. Yeah. 1 second. And then there's that. And there's the spring. Okay, and then there's the oil filter. That's going to be the oil filter. That's the oil filter. Okay. There's your oil pump. The stock clutch plate, clutch spring plate. Okay, we're just going to take those off. And I'll show you a trick on how to do that too. And there's that bearing that I was telling you about. We're going to replace the 6 springs in there and their clutch plate right now. After that, we're going to take this, we're going to put a new gasket on here. Okay, and then we'll put the, we're going to clean this out. Let's see this. Let's see this right here. So let's see this. Oh, not bad. Not bad, huh? There's not too much stuff in there. Oh, what's that? Oh my. What the heck? Okay, there is some stuff in there. Okay. Okay, we're just going to wipe that down. If you look onto the side, it's like a little triangle, you know what I'm saying? The thin part goes in first, and then the thick part goes in last. So it goes in, see how it's like a little wedge? It's like a wedge. It's thicker towards my fingers, okay, and then skinnier towards the other part. So that skinnier part goes inside and the thicker part goes out. So you turn it this way. Okay, there's that wedge. Turn it this way, and then you stick it right back in here. Okay, so it's 10mm. So I don't think that you could take it off. Yeah. So if you try to just do it like that, it's not going to come off because I don't know if you can see this or not, but the whole thing rotates. Okay. So when you're trying to take this off, the whole thing rotates. Oh, it actually came off. So this one doesn't come off. It's a little hard. It's rotating. Oh, that one came off. I just wanted to show you a trick. So the thing is what I usually do is if it doesn't come off like that, what you have to do is you have to act like a little impact wrench. Okay? And basically, I just hit it really hard with something heavy. So I can take this, okay, make sure that it's tight, and just hit it, tap it really quick. And it should break it. It'll break it so that you can take it off. Okay? So just break them so that you can take them off. And after you break the nut, I suggest you backing them out evenly. So the clutch plate comes out not all at one side first. Go even up and down so they all come mixed in. Maybe count to 10, 6, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's out. That's out. And then that's out. Okay. So I'm just gonna take these. So I'm just gonna take these out. And then the springs will fall out too. Okay, so you got 6 springs here. 6 springs. And remember, 3 of the holes here, there's 6 springs. But 3 of the holes have, this is where your bolts go, okay? Okay, so the other ones are blank. So after you do that, so after you take that out, it just popped out. But you're going to reuse these 3 bolts, okay? With the Chimera clutch plate, okay? You can reuse those 3 bolts. And this one just fell out, this bearing. You're going to reuse the bearing too, okay? So just pop the bearing back in. Right there, like that, perfect. And you're going to reuse these 3. Pro tip, okay? So if you ever wonder which way to put it in, like bearings or something, you always want the writing on the outside. So if you look here, the bearing, I don't know if you can see this or not. So the bearing on one side has no writing, okay? But the bearing on the other side has some writing on the lip. So that one, when you install it, you want to look at the writing. So don't install it where you see nothing, no writing. Install the bearing. If it was to fall out when you take it out and you don't know which way to put it in, you're supposed to put it in parts in where you could see the writing. So this bearing, you can see the writing like that. Okay, and we're just going to put that in like that. Okay, so I'm going to get my springs out now. Okay, the sex machine springs. Sex machine's 80%. Okay. You gotta put it on there and adjust it. They have to fit kind of right. So just holding in place right there. So it's like a juggling act. You have to line them all up, make sure they're under this little hook. Okay. Or under this little thing. Okay. What's this one? Make sure these are all underneath. Just lined up. Okay. Tighten them evenly. 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 1, 2, 5, 6, 1, 6. Now I'm just going to hand tighten these like this, okay, until it starts rotating like before. And I'm going to do that little trick. I'm just going to go right here and I'm just going to hit it really quick, just a little bit. Okay, make sure you don't strip that bolt. Okay, just 2 or 3. You don't need much. So, just to make sure. I don't know why. we're gonna put the cover back on. After we put the cover back on, but we gotta take the gasket off. This should be pretty easy to take this one off because it's a new one. When they get older and stuff like that, it's harder to take off. But this one is pretty new, so it comes right off. So the older, what was that? Oh shoot, the dowel. Remember, there are two dowels. There used to be two dowels. Oh no. Oh yeah, okay. So now there's a dowel here. There's a dowel here on the top right, and there's another dowel here on the back right. They were positioned differently, I think, on the other one. I think down here and here. But now the two dowels are here. One here, one here. Stainless steel dowels. Okay? Don't lose these. Okay? There are these things. There are these things. Okay, there's two of them. So just a funny story. My friend Ryan, I worked on his bike a long time ago, and I lost this dowel. And the thing is, I lost the dowel, and it went in over there to the transmission side. So, I'm sorry, but he had to take it to Steady Garage to take it out. But don't put any parts in there. Don't lose any screws in here. You're going to hate it. But I paid for Ryan's, bill at Steady Garage, okay? Even though I did the work for free, I felt bad, so I paid for his thing to get done at Steady. But from there, Ryan went crazy, man. I don't know if you don't know Grom and Dad. Well, Grom and Dad's got like a $15,000, $16,000, $17,000 bike. I don't know, $1 million bike. Dude, man, he's got what has he got, man? SMR 5-speed with the 5-speed transmission. What does that come with? 5-speed transmission comes with, shoot, I forget. He has that. He has a 81cc big bore. He's got a fresh ass body. He was one of the tricked out big bores back in the day. He's a baller. Tell you what, I think those big bores might be quicker than those 300cc swaps. I don't know. You chime in and differ, I don't know, Clint Commander, you know what I'm saying? Sorry, Clint, I don't know. But those big bores, they're pretty fast. Okay. So we're gonna wipe this down. You know what? The good thing is to get carb cleaner and use carb cleaner. And just wipe this down. So making sure all the oils, we're just making sure that all the surfaces are dry so that there's no oil between the gasket and the metal, the casing. Okay, we want a good seal on the gasket. Okay, that's why we want to make sure that there's no oil. Okay. And since this bike is upright, now take this gasket. Okay, I'm gonna put it on the dowels first. So we're just gonna put the side cover on. Okay, there it goes. If it's snug right there, okay. And basically we're just gonna put the bolts back in. So when I did the bolts, what I did is, like I told you before, let's see here. There's 4 on the bottom and 2 on one on each side. So what I do is I lay them out so they go back in the same hole. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I do the side here and then the other side here, and there's 4 on top. Goes 1, 2, 3, and then there's 4. This one I left with because this one came off with it, so now I know that this one goes to the top right. So if you look at your cover, you'll see there's 4 on the bottom, 1 on the sides, and then 4 on top. And I like to do it like this just so that, I don't know, I'm weird. I just like the bolts going back the way they do on that cover. So we're just gonna put back the bolts in the pattern. So got the clutch cable. So I'm not sure how you're supposed to put this on officially, right? But I've tried the technique where the best way that I do it is I just tighten every one from this side all the way around, and then I go back twice. That's the way that I do it. I don't know if that's the right way or not, but I used to do it alternating this side, that side, like a tire, like the lug nuts, but it didn't work very good. I had spots where this bolt would be loose and everybody else would be the same, and this bolt or something might be loose later when you start tightening it. So I got into the habit of just going around and just tightening it. Okay, and tightening it all the way around once, and then when you go around the second time, it'll get it'll tighten up to where you need it at. Make sure everything has an even seal. And you don't have to tighten it too much. Okay, just a little hand tight. Okay. Okay, that's the first way around. And then one more time. Just a little bit. A little bit. You should use a new crush washer every time, but I ran out of crush washer, so I'm just going to use the old one. I don't recommend using the same crush washer. We're going to use a crush washer one time. Just make sure that you don't tighten it too tight and break, and then crack your case. So the reason for the crush washer, I don't know if you know this or not, is so that when you tighten this, it'll tighten, make a seal, but just so that you don't. Another reason is so that when you turn it, you don't, instead, if you over tighten it, you don't over tighten and then crack the case. You over tighten it and then the crush washer just gets crushed in. But if you keep using the same crush washer, what's going to happen is it's going to be flat, and when you keep tightening it, it's going to crack your case. So just don't use your crush washers overly too much. You change them out. This oil filter. I shouldn't reuse it, but I didn't have any more. They didn't have any. This kind of sucks. But I want to put back this oil filter. Okay, and then spring, the cap, and the 2 bolts. Okay, so the spring goes in the middle, and this goes on top. You know what, you guys? You remember to put the oil in, okay? Because I forgot to put the oil in. Last step, put the oil in. Right here. Put the oil in right there. Okay.